Dragons live in the cave of wealth and death, but they also live in the waking world. One mighty dragon happens to be China. China's concept of being a dragon is extremely ancient. Dragons represented wealth, power, and above all, earthquakes, the ability to make the entire earth move very suddenly. Dragons are very highly respected in China. They are also rather vain creatures. They admire themselves and they think they're very civilized and wish that the whole world would admire them too. And they tend to be proud. Pride is, of course, a dangerous thing. It's led China into a lot of difficulties in the past. But we always have to remember, the dragon is proud. Ms. Liberty is another creature I populate my little universe with. She represents the United States. She also is extremely proud and even more vain than the dragon, if that's possible. She thinks she has magical powers too, and she's been able to use certain powers, like, for example here, spinning straw into gold. That is, she creates money out of thin air and then uses it to buy things from the Dragon of China. Here's the Dragon of China offering her a lollipop, and of course she can't resist these kinds of goodies, and she says, "Oh, will I get a toothache?" And the dragon assures her, "No, you'll be just fine. Go ahead, eat all you want." Well, that has a downside. Here's the Dragon of China performing its present role with us, namely providing us all our Christmas presents. Lots and lots of Chinese goods come into America to supply our stores for servicing us during that holiday season when we believe that Santa Claus will come and give us goodies for free and never ever ask for a down payment or payback and interest. Here is a typical American investor demanding that Bernanke give them immense bailouts because, of course, Bernanke is Santa Claus. But we can see over this side of the picture here, the real Santa Claus is the Dragon of China. But the brat doesn't understand this. He just thinks it's magical. It'll fall into his lap. On the other hand, the money that we save ourselves with comes from the Dragon of China. Here we are seeing how we balance trade with China. We sit on one end of the scale and China puts money at the opposite end, and then we have to balance everything out. But we don't like the way it balances out because China says, "You owe us a lot of money." Well, the United States thinks that it's in the same game as the rest of the world. But as we can see here, that China and Japan both have really big forex reserves. This cartoon was made some months ago because Japan's forex is now at over $1 trillion and China's $2 trillion. Even Russia's is bigger than that. Ours, on the other hand, is same size, really small. So we beg and beg. See the begging bowl here? And the United States has to get money from China, which China gets from playing Santa Claus. We just can't understand this. We think they're mean to play this game. We want them to not make the yuan weak, but to make it strong so that we can't buy from them. But then who'll be Santa Claus? Oh yes. China does charge interest. We don't like that. We want to have a zero system, which is what we're getting now. Notice that little bill. I owe China $1 trillion. We owe a lot of people more than $1 trillion. It's actually $3 trillion or more, and we plan to make it much more. But the real plan is to not pay anyone in the long run. We'll default on the loans. We think everybody is too stupid to figure out we will try to welch on our loans, that we will not do the right thing. We will not pay what we owe. We will find some way of cheating everyone, usually through inflation. The other thing we do is we try to trade with other countries. For example, we like to sell Boeing jets to everybody. This is a major effort on the part of the United States officials to go all around the world saying, "Please buy our Boeing jets." But the other countries say, well, let us build all the parts and then you can assemble it in America and then sell it to us, so we're not making much profit. On the other hand, we can sell them our dying auto industry. After all, someone has to buy it. Notice the bag there. It says 400 billion in USA bonds. Well, today it's almost $1 trillion that China has in US treasuries. And as far as other bonds are concerned, it's just an immense sum. It's well over $1 trillion more. So here's Ms. Liberty on her knees screaming, I need more loans. And we are peddling now almost $2 trillion a year in debt. And someone has to buy it. We aren't buying it. Japan buys some of it, but not that much. And China has been our chief bank. Oh dear, look at this. Our bank system is collapsing. The cat there, by the way, is my representation for Iran. I call it Iran Kitty. We are always out to kill Iran Kitty. This is one of our major things we want to do in this world. Absolutely get rid of that cat. But meanwhile, our entire banking system is collapsing and we want China to save that too. So China says you have to pay the rent. And Ms. Liberty says, but I need more money so I can kill Iran. And notice the cat on the tree. Every time we turn around and try to kill Iran, all kinds of horrible things happen, like North Korea will shoot off a rocket, for example, and make us hop up and down. So the United States has decided to tell China, we don't need your money. Japan will support our debts. Japan, on the other hand, really doesn't think this is such a hot idea. They would far prefer to have China do it, while Japan also gets to flood our markets with Japanese goods. What's going to happen next? Well, everyone's running in the red. China's still the creditor nation, we're the debtor nation, and so is Japan for that matter. Japan has a huge debt load. Most of its debt it owes to itself, whereas we owe to China and Japan. But Japan also needs us to threaten North Korea, so we have this stupid situation with the United States screaming that we want to go around the world killing everybody while China gives us loans. As you notice, the Iran Kitty is making faces at us. Our sword's all bloody. We're already destroying people like crazy in Afghanistan. We're flooding it with soldiers and demanding more money so that we can give money to the Afghanis. And meanwhile, the United States also indulges in telling the dragon that it's all their dragon's fault. How dare they lend us money? How dare they do business with us? How dare they not obey us? Why did they let us go so deep in debt? Why, it's all their fault. Not us. We're innocent. And as you can see, we still want to kill everybody. Just yesterday, Obama woke up in the middle of the night and said, ah, baby dragon. You notice him down there below. He always says, me go boom, and he carries rockets around. Baby dragon shot another rocket. We'll have to stop that now. We'll shoot them down. We'll go to the UN and demand more sanctions against baby dragon. Notice Russia, the bear. After this display of ire, of course, the United States wants more money from China. And, of course, North Korea would love to do the same sort of begging that we do. See how Lady Liberty sitting on a newspaper on a street corner and the dragon's laughing at her even as she glowers at everybody. She's not exactly a nice person when it comes to begging. And, of course, hey, I just want to borrow another $1 trillion, no strings attached. Then I can tell you off again. And I think this is all going to end very badly. The United States is going to go bankrupt to the dragon, and the dragon never forgets. They have very good memories, unfortunately. And this is Cultural